We've already been talking about the nostos of Odysseus, which is in progress. But it's interesting how this nostos is tied in with kleos. We know that kleos is not just glory, but the kind of glory that Homeric poetry brings to life. And what we start seeing here is that the connecting of Telemachus with the nostos, the story of the safe homecoming of Odysseus, which is in progress, that connecting will be part of a larger system of connecting with the kleos of Odysseus. And here we start getting into something very interesting about Odysseus, which is different from Achilles, which is that Odysseus can achieve his nostos, his safe homecoming, as a kleos. And the kleos, the glory that he gets, is the glory that he gets precisely for the safe homecoming, the nostos. Mm-hmm. This is so different from Achilles. We all know from Iliad 9, line 413, and the context of that line, that Achilles has to make a choice between kleos and nostos. Now we're starting to see that Odysseus does not have to make a choice. In fact, he has to have both, because if he does not have a nostos, he will not get a kleos. And we'll explore that formula in other passages, but already in this passage, very early on in the Odyssey, we see that you can talk about the nostos of Odysseus in the same breath as you talk about the kleos of Odysseus. And this is very, very much unlike the situation for Achilles.
It's interesting, this passage here connects nostos and fathers, whereas
Yes.
before we were talking about kleos and fathers.
Yes, and I think that's again part of the bigger picture that for Odysseus, nostos is just a key to his kleos, and so there'll be situations where you can simply talk about the nostos of the father, and that's already enough to say that Telemachus will connect with the kleos of the father as well.
And how about the idea that the kleos is going to possess him? Did you want to say anything about that?
Yes, I think this is as close as Homeric poetry comes to the idea that a hero achieves identity through the medium, which is the kleos. That's why they're ready to die for kleos, even if they're not ready to die, as in the case of Achilles, for material compensation. Kleos is something that really is the medium for immortalization. If you get into it, if your story is embedded in kleos, it is the medium of immortalization, or at least it is a medium of immortalization, because hero cult can be, of course, another one.
Right. So it's a matter of being possessed as opposed to possession, or embedding versus...
Oh, I love the way you said that. Yes, it is a matter of the hero being possessed by epic. And that brings to mind why I gave that 1990 book of mine the title I gave, which is Pindar's Homer, The Lyric Possession of an Epic Past, where a medium can possess the past and the heroes who populate the past. Kleos can possess its heroes because without the medium, the heroes lose their connectedness to the living tradition that keeps bringing them back to life again every time there's a performance.
And that's the nostos, the coming back to life, right?
And when you return to the story, that's just as much of a nostos as to have a hero return to the setting where the hero can show what he really is, which is what the Odyssey is all about.